Hi, last time today. This is your last video of the day, and I wanted to talk to you for a minute while you're sitting there resting to do the metabolic rate. Now we might refer to that as a MedGem because that's the name of this device here, the MedGem. It determines your metabolic rate by the method of indirect calorimetry, which we won't really explain, but it measures how many calories your body uses at rest. Most of the calories that your body uses are just to keep your body warm. So we want to measure it as close to resting as you can get. Sleeping would be really even closer, but we're not going to have you go to sleep for this. But it would be great if you could get your body to such a feeling of rest that you're breathing like you do when you're asleep. So as you're watching this, try to breathe slowly and naturally without really thinking about it. What the test measures is how much oxygen you consume at rest. And I showed you before that you would be using a mouthpiece. Everyone will get their own mouthpiece, which goes on the device like that. And then when you breathe into this device, you want all your air going through your mouth, none going through your nose. So you need a good seal around this. And just to make sure no air is leaking out your nose, then after you get to rest, just when we start the test, then you'll put on the nose clip. And we'll make sure that you can't breathe through your nose. And you won't be able to. But this is very soft, so don't really worry about that. And then once you're at rest, it really only takes 5 minutes, at most 10 minutes, to do the test. Now, when the test is done, the result will be in terms of calories. Like, for example, it might say 1,823 calories, meaning at rest, that's how many calories your body uses. Of course, you may use more calories than that based on how busy you are or how active you are through the day. If I sat at this chair all day long and I were a secretary or a doctor, my lifestyle factor would be 1.2. That's a number that we multiply your resting metabolic rate by to get the number of calories that you use in a day. So while you're sitting there, you can look at a paper just like this, which would have the resting metabolic rate information at the top, and then a list of lifestyle factors. So you can look at that and determine where you think you fit in. Basically, there's 4 factors. 1 is sitting most of the day, 2 is standing most of the day but not walking much, 3 is standing most of the day and walking a lot, 4 is high level of activity such as construction or landscaper. So once we have your result, then we will multiply it by your lifestyle factor to come up with the calories that you use in a day. Now that's the number of calories to maintain the weight that you are. Of course, you're in the study most likely because you want to lose some weight. So then we will take that number and subtract 1,000 calories from it. If you do that, you should lose 2 pounds a week. Now at the beginning you might lose a little bit more, but some of that would be water weight. So we're talking 2 pounds of fat weight per week. If you exercise a lot, you might lose a little bit more because we're not taking exercise calories into account for this. We're only taking the resting metabolic rate and your daily activity into account. But then depending on what your numbers are, we will assign you to one of these categories at the bottom, which is 800 calories a day, 1,000 calories a day, 1,200, 1,500, or 1,800 calories a day. And that's your goal. Now we are not grading you on how well you adhere to the diet, but we are encouraging you to adhere to the diet. The study is all about seeing whether the patch works better than not using a patch, or that is whether a real active Thrive Lifestyle patch works better than a placebo patch. Everybody is being asked to reduce their caloric intake and to exercise no matter what patch you're on. So there will be that factor, but then in addition to that, the sponsor is looking to see if their active patch helps you curb your appetite and reduce your weight more. That if your appetite is less, hopefully you will eat less and find it easier to stick with the recommendation. and also if it increases your metabolism a little bit, whether you might lose more weight because your metabolism is going faster. As far as exercise goes, we advise you to walk half an hour a day or the equivalent. If you walk briskly for half an hour a day, that would burn 100 to 200 calories, and over the course of a month that would add up to another 1 to 2 pounds. So again, we encourage you to do that, but you're not being graded on that. And then this same form will tell you how many servings of different sorts of food you should eat in a day. Starches, meats, proteins, carbs, veggies, fruits, all those things. And depending on how many calories, you'd have more or less of each one. And then we will be giving you a very complete list of foods that you could refer to. Say, let's look at the fruits. On, say, 1,800 calories a day, you'd get 4 fruit exchanges. So then you could look at the list of fruits and decide which of those you want to choose. Now that would include, for example, an apple, which says 2 inches across. A 2-inch apple is mighty small, so you have to watch your serving size. So that might be half of a larger apple. Or I think orange juice, well, it has orange on here. Orange is serving size, and then they have fruit juices on the next page. So fruit juice would be a half a cup. Or in the case of grape juice, only a third of a cup. So you have to watch the servings. So when it says that you get 4 fruit exchanges, that might only be 2 glasses of orange juice in a day. So now we will go over your results after you finish and give you these numbers. And at this point, I want you to try to really relax. You can sit there with your head down. You can almost go to sleep if you'd like. Just try to get as relaxed as possible, and then we will start doing the MedGem metabolic rate. That would be in about another 5 minutes. That's it, and talk to you soon.